Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the Mello Yellow Duel here at the Daytona International Speedway. It is two back-to-back races, each 12 laps long, to determine the starting lineup for the 2017 Chick-fil-A Cup Series Daytona 500. And it'll also determine which part-time drivers make it in and which part-time drivers will not make it in. William Johnston and Hamill have already locked themselves into the Great American Race, which will be run tomorrow morning. But as for the other four part-time drivers, they have to race their way in here today if they want to make it in. Dane Amann, Aric Allmenhardt, Dale Salzman, and Colin Dryburgh all racing for the final two positions into the Daytona 500. Now, for the part-time drivers, if you want to automatically qualify for the Daytona 500, you have to be the highest part-time finisher in your dual race. If the driver who is the highest part-time finisher in your dual race is already locked in, as is William Johnston, Hamill, then the extra positions will be determined off of qualifying time, and the guy who was fastest, who was third fastest of all the part-time drivers, is Aric Allmenhardt. So we will talk about that more if a situation like that happens, but if Dane Amann were to finish ahead of Hamill in this dual race, then Dane Amann, would race in the Daytona 500 tomorrow morning and seek redemption to his very bitter loss in Season 2. Anyways, this is the Mello Yellow Duel. For the first time ever, this race will be awarding championship points. The top 10 finishers in each dual race will receive championship points, with 10 points going to the winner, 9 points going to second place, and so on. And those bonus points that these drivers will be receiving in this Mello Yellow Duel event could very well help determine a champion. Now, the win that you would receive in the Mello Yellow Duel does not go towards a automatic chase berth, but points are definitely going to play a big factor into the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Championship, and you might as well get them right off the bat. Anyways, this is dual race number 1. This will determine the inside lane starting grid for tomorrow's Daytona 500, so let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off. But first, here's the command to start the engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up. And we're ready to roll here in the Mello Yellow Duel. This is duel number 1. It will determine the inside lane starting positions for tomorrow's Daytona 500. But we know one thing already, and that is that guy you're seeing in the middle of your screen, Donovan King, will absolutely guaranteed start on the pole position for tomorrow's Daytona 500. But you got 10 bonus points on the line if you win this race. You might want to go for the win here in the Mello Yellow Duel. Alongside him, Noah Cars in number 3, trying to win his first ever race on Napa Fan. Row number 2 sees Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, and Hamill. Hamill, a part-time driver, but he is already locked into the Daytona 500 off of his qualifying speed. Row number 3, Garrett Sinor starts alongside the number 13 of Eli Bright. We got row number 4, it's Matt Zuck, and Mello Yellow Duel winner last year, Jesse Turner in the number 43. Number 41, that is Zachary Fitzwater starting alongside Ricky Stevenson. We got Dane Amann in the number 51. He came oh so close to winning the Daytona 500 in season number 2. He wants redemption, and if he finishes ahead of Hamill in this race, he will in fact be racing tomorrow morning in the Daytona 500. Alongside Dane Amann, it's the number 2 of Tristen Allen, who gave Marty Johnson that huge push in the Mello Yellow Smoothfest to get Marty Johnson that win on Monday. Trey Barto and Donovan Douthitt in row 7. Cody Sill, Richard Kinghart in row 8. John Arndt, Stuart Gratton in row number 9. Row 10 sees Caleb Hoffman in the number 14, starting alongside Daniel McMillan. Then it's Al Lagasee in the final row. That's the full field here for Mello Yellow Duel number 1. Top 10 drivers receive championship points, and if Dane Amann finishes ahead of Hamill, Dane Amann will, in fact, be in tomorrow's Great American Race. It's going to get interesting here. Number 33 of Donovan King. He's already on the pole for tomorrow's Daytona 500, and an issue at the start, which means we're going to have to reset this. Zachary Fitzwater at the beginning here did not get going, so hold on just a second. We're going to reset the field so that the number 41 of Zachary Fitzwater can start this race. And now everybody is ready to start here in Mello Yello Duel number 1. And the official rule is that all drivers have to cross the start-finish line under full power. And Zachary Fitzwater blew up just before we were taking the green flag under the first attempt, so these guys went back around, and Fitzwater got a new car, and we're back, and we're ready to race. In Mello Yello Duel number 1, the qualifying races are green here at Daytona. 12 laps each to determine the starting lineup for the Daytona 500, and bonus points on the line as well for the top 10 finishers in each race. The number 33 of Jonathan King, he's going to lead the field of green tomorrow morning. He led the field of green here in dual race number 1. He's going to lead the first lap of action here in dual race number 1. And remember, top 10 finishes receive championship points, and a lot more on the line in these races than there have been in past seasons. Now, there's the number 51 of Dane Amann. The only two part-time drivers in duel number 1 are Dane Amann and the 7 of Hamill. Hamill is already locked in, but Dane Amann still needs to finish ahead of Hamill to secure a spot in. If Dane Amann does not finish ahead of Hamill, he would need Aric Allmenhardt to be the highest finishing part-time driver in dual race number 2 in order to make the Daytona 500. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Noah Cars on the outside lane, able to lead lap number 2. And when we have smaller packs like this, especially early on in a run, the outside lane tends to do very well, and that's what Noah Cars is doing there on that outside lane, with Hamill helping him in the number 7. But Jonathan King hanging with him here on this inside lane. He's got Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, Garrett behind him. There's Zachary Fitzwater, who at the first attempt of this race blew up, but the rule is that every single driver has to start under full power. That's how we've done it for many years, and I want to do that because I want everybody to start the race. I feel that that is the fair way to do this. So Zachary Fitzwater getting a second chance there, and he is definitely taking advantage of it. And let's get a good starting position for that Daytona 500 and some bonus points heading in to the first race of the season. As for Jonathan King, he's getting a run there on that middle lane, getting to the inside of Noah Cars for the lead. I don't know if Noah Cars is going to be able to hang on that outside lane. It looks like he is. Hamill giving him a very good push. And the number 3 of Noah Cars is going to stay out front barely. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater on the inside, 3 wide for the lead. And in a 21-car pack, we're 3 wide throughout the whole field here at Daytona. Quite impressive by these guys here in Mello Yello Duel number 1. Fitzwater leads lap number 4. A great run to the inside for the number 41. Here comes rookie Cody Sill in the number 1 machine. That car was driven by Alex Bontignor last season. And it now goes to Cody Sill, another NRLOA member, who gets a good push from John Arndt in the inside lane. And here he is, Caleb Hoffman in the number 14. It's final season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and he's taking advantage of it inside the top 10 on that inside lane, which seems to be moving up through this field very well. Now Noah Cars, he's still on this outside lane here. We might have 4 wide. And they're going to fan it back down to 3 wide. You not want to see crashes in these Mello Yello Duel races. That is no fun. John Arndt in the number 24. He won the Mello Yello Duel in season number 4. He won his duel race in season number 4 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so he's won this race before. Jesse Turner has also won this race before in the number 43. Here comes Caleb Hoffman, Al Lagasee. Those guys started in the back of this field, and in only 6 laps, they have moved their way to the front of the field. This duel race determining the inside starting lineup for the Daytona 500 tomorrow. And the highest that any of these guys, with the exception of Jonathan King, can start in tomorrow's race is 3rd. But that's what these guys are battling for, and they're also battling for 10 points towards the championship as well. I'm going to stop saying that. First, we will show you guys the points at the end of this video, so you guys know who got the bonus points and who didn't. But Caleb Hoffman, he leads at the halfway point in Mello Yello Duel number 1. And a great run there for the number 14 team, Stuart Haas Racing, owned by Igor Barreto. And those guys, they have a lot of strong drivers. As a matter of fact, all 4 of their drivers are in this Mello Yello Duel race. And we'll see how they do here in this event. Number 34, Lagasee is going to get a run to the inside of Caleb Hoffman for the lead. And you see this inside lane, it seems to be working pretty well right now. The number 95 of Daniel McMillan is currently on this inside lane, and he's going to get to the inside of Lagasee for the lead. He's got Stuart Gratton and Dane Amann right now. He is ahead of Derek Hamill. That is exactly what Dane Amann wants. If Amann finishes ahead of Hamill, Dane Amann will be in the Daytona 500 tomorrow morning. Right now, that 51 looking very strong, but it's Daniel McMillan, the number 95, leading this field. Levine Family Racing and Nick Smith, the owner of that team. A single-car team leading here in the Mello Yello Duel. But I think somebody on this inside lane right now is going to win this race, because this inside lane is working like crazy in this race. We have not seen that in past Mello Yello Duels, but today this inside lane is the place to be. And somehow our pole sitter found his way back to the inside. Jonathan King in the number 33 has found his way back to this inside lane, and he's going to get a run to the inside of Stuart Gratton for the 3rd position, and he might get to the inside of Dane Amann, who has just taken the lead in a part-time ride. He won a couple of races in Season 2 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series and almost won the Daytona 500 that season, but he barely got beat by Nicholas Sanmadio. He has not raced in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since, but he wants to return to that Daytona 500 and get redemption from that very grueling finish he had all the way back in 2015. He's going to beat the 95 at the line. McMillan getting a run in this outside lane, and all of a sudden the outside lane seems to have some strength. You see this inside lane is a little ways back, and McMillan might be able to get a good run here in these final 3 laps and possibly steal this thing away from Dane Amann. As for Derek Hamill, he's deep in the field. That's good news for Dane Amann. And as long as Hamill finishes behind Dane Amann will be in tomorrow's Daytona 500. Remember, top 10 receive points. Sorry I keep on saying that, but I just want you guys to know, because we've never done that before, and I actually did not mention that in any of the past videos so far this season, so I want you guys just to know that. And Daniel McMillan, he is getting that outside lane to work. He's got Stuart Gratton helping him in that number 37. McMillan all alone there in the number 95. Nobody alongside him for that lap. It's 2 laps to go in Mello Yello Duel number 1. Now, the way these duel races go, one is usually calm and the other is crazy. So if this thing goes caution-free, we might see a crash in the second duel race, which will determine the outside starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Dane Amann in the number 51, still staying side by side with Daniel McMillan. And McMillan's a rookie to this series. Dane Amann is not a rookie to this series, but neither of these guys have too much experience in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And we're just going to have to see how it all plays out in this final lap. Daniel McMillan takes the white flag in Mello Yello Duel number 1 here at Daytona. Will he start 3rd and get 10 points towards the championship? How about Richard Kinghart in the number 19? He's known for winning at Watkins Glen, but all of a sudden he's 3 wide to the inside of Dane Amann and Daniel McMillan with help from his teammate Donovan Douthitt. Josh Crash and his team definitely looking very strong. Joe Gibbs racing on that inside lane, but McMillan with a run on the outside. Get your cameras out. This one is going to be close. Richard Kinghart in the number 19 in a very fast car. It looks like he's going to win this race. He's going to clear the 51, and Richard Kinghart is going to win Mello Yello Duel number 1 here at Daytona. Kind of out of nowhere as well. Did not really see that 19 until late in the going, but Richard Kinghart wins Mello Yello Duel number 1. That is his 3rd career Napa fan win, and his first on an oval course. And a great job by the Joe Gibbs Racing team and Josh Crash, number 19, and the number 18, finishing 1-2 here in Mello Yello Duel number 1. Richard Kinghart will get 10 points towards the championship. Donovan Douthitt will get 9. And still a great run for the 95 of Daniel McMillan. McMillan will grab 8 points towards the championship. And Dane Amann will be racing in tomorrow's Great American Race. He finished ahead of Derek Hamill, and he automatically qualifies for the Daytona 500 with this finish here in Mello Yello Duel number 1. He will be starting 7th for tomorrow's race. But there's your winner. Richard Kinghart in the number 19 wins the Mello Yello Duel number 1. And no crashes in this one, so that's a good thing. All the drivers in this race will be racing tomorrow. Aric Hamill already qualified for the Daytona 500 on time, so he's automatically in. And Dane Amann raced his way in this Mello Yello Duel race, and he's going to be starting 7th for tomorrow's Daytona 500. Of course, at the end of the video, you guys will see the Daytona 500 starting grid as well, so you guys know where you're going to be starting for tomorrow's race. But Richard Kinghart, he'll be starting 3rd for the Daytona 500 tomorrow morning. A great win here in Mello Yello Duel number 1. And how about the Joe Gibbs Racing team? They finished 1-2, and Josh Crash, the owner, pretty happy about that one, I'm pretty sure. And these guys definitely getting a good run here at Daytona. Anyways, duel number 2 is going to be a little bit crazier because there's going to be 2 drivers in that race who do not race tomorrow. All the drivers in this one, they're in the show, but 2 part-time drivers in that next race are not going to qualify for the Daytona 500, and that is definitely going to be chaotic. I think we'll probably see a crash. Who knows? We didn't go 4 wide in this one, but we might go 4 wide in that one, so just hang tight. Anyways, Richard Kinghart, Donovan Douthitt, Daniel McMillan, Dane Amann, Stuart Gratton, Trey Barto, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, Lagasee, Tristen Allen, and Daytona 500 pole sitter Jonathan King will all receive championship points for the Daytona 500. And they will all receive championship points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They'll all receive championship points before the Daytona 500. Excuse me there for not making too much sense. But those guys getting championship points here for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. 10 points to Kinghart, 9 points to Douthitt, and so on. And of course, you guys will see the point standings at the end of the video as well. Anyways, let's go ahead for a quick commercial break. Then we'll be back for Mello Yello Duel number 2 here at the Daytona International Speedway.
While cars, tracks, and drivers may change, the smooth citrus taste that drives us remains the same. Only Mello Yello.
And we are back here at the Daytona International Speedway for the Mello Yello Duel. These qualifying races determining the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. And one thing I would like to mention that I did not mention in Duel number 1, but you did see in a graphic in Duel number 1, only the top 15 finishers, with the exception of the pole sitter in each duel race, get their positions for the Daytona 500 locked in on where they finish in their duel race. Everybody else that finishes outside the top 15 or top 16, if the pole sitter for the duel race finishes in the top 15, if you finish it outside of that, outside of the top 15 or top 16, then your starting position is then determined by owner's points from the previous season. That's something I actually forgot to mention. I know it's a little complicated, but the thing is, all 21 drivers in the first duel race have qualified. They can't all start in the inside lane. Only 19 drivers from this duel race will race in the Daytona 500, so that's why we have to do it that way. But still, of course, I will show you guys the Daytona 500 starting grid at the end of the video, and hopefully it will make sense to you at that point. Now, here's something that I should explain pretty well. William Johnston, a part-time driver, is already locked into the Daytona 500. His starting position is also locked in. He will be starting on the front row for the Great American Race tomorrow on the outside pole alongside Jonathan King. But as for the other 3 part-time drivers, you have Aric Allmenhardt, Colin Dryburgh, and Dale Salzman. If William Johnston is the highest part-time finisher in this duel race, Aric Allmenhardt is in the Daytona 500. So Aric Allmenhardt has a better chance than Colin Dryburgh or Dale Salzman at qualifying for the Daytona 500. But of course, the highest part-time finisher in this duel race will lock themselves into the Daytona 500. And if it's William Johnston, Aric Allmenhardt is the final part-time guy in the Great American Race. So hopefully you guys understand that. It's another 12-lap race here at Daytona. And we'll see how this one goes. 21 drivers in the field. Let's go ahead, get the command to fire these engines up here for Mello Yello Duel number 2.
Drivers, start your engines!
And yet again, another fantastic command to fire these engines up. It is the number 75 of William Johnston starting on the pole position. And he is already in the show for tomorrow's race. Already going to start in the outside pole, so nothing to worry about for him. Alongside him, the number 27 of Alexander Rowe, a rookie driver this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Jordan Lopez, another rookie driver, but he won his first ever start here on Napa Fan in the Thanksgiving 500 last year in the number 17. Alongside him is the Mello Yello Smooth Fest winner of Marty Johnson. Row number 3, Julius Anderson in the number 20 starts alongside Chris Skinlart. And we got Jay Jefferson in Season 3 Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion Cameron Garlington. Number 72, Anthony Lopez, and a part-time driver, Aric Allmenhardt, who has the best chance at going into the Daytona 500, a 50% chance that Aric Allmenhardt will be in the Daytona 500 compared to the 25% chance that Colin Dryburgh and Dale Salzman each have. There is Colin Dryburgh, another part-time driver in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He starts alongside Elijah Gordon in the number 5. Season 4 champion Matt Gallio in the number 88. Starts alongside rookie Daniel Bouchard in the number 11. It was Joe Gibbs racing in victory lane in duel number 1. Will Josh Crash sweep this event? We'll just have to see. Number 96 of Dale Salzman, the last part-time driver in the field, starts alongside Ryan Madden. Driving for Furniture Racing, Nathan Stapleton, the owner of that team. Number 83, that is driven by Isaac Nichols, his teammate at BK Racing. The number 23 of Ace Garcia starts alongside him. It's Reagan Whitlock and Adam Lewis. And then it's Blaine Keys in the final row here for Mello Yello Duel number 2 in the Mello Yello Duel. It does appear that everybody's going to start this race, only unless somebody blows up coming to the green flag. I don't think that's going to happen. That's a very rare event, but it did happen in dual race number 1 with Zachary Fitzwater. But the pace car is going to pull off, and all 21 drivers here in dual race number 2 will begin. Will this one be a crazy one, or will it be calm like the first one? We're just going to have to see. Green flag is out. We're racing in Mello Yello Duel number 2. It does appear we might have had an issue on the start. Yeah, Ryan Madden, and I think he crossed the line full power, so this one's going to stand, but it's split up the field here. You see a couple of guys that are actually straggling along here. That's Adam Lewis, Blaine Keys, and Reagan Whitlock, and Ryan Madden with an issue. He's going to have to go on owner's points. And that 77 does not have any owner's points, so Ryan Madden most likely going to start in the final row for tomorrow's Daytona 500. He's going to go a lap down most likely. That is not Adam Lewis. That's Anthony Lopez in number 72. Almost called him Adam Lewis, but he's not Adam Lewis. He's Anthony Lopez. They're both new drivers, so please excuse me if I get those names confused. They got Nicholas Amadio and Nathan Stapleton confused in the IndyCar series so often. It wasn't even funny, but I do that sometimes, so just bear with me. Number 31, Jay Jefferson on the outside lane, and Colin Dryburgh in the number 55. He's trying to get around this 75. If Dryburgh finishes ahead of Johnston and all the other part-time drivers, Colin Dryburgh is going to be in the Daytona 500. Now, William Johnson, he has nothing to worry about, but he would like to get some bonus points, even though he is a part-time driver. Still good to get those bonus points to be the best of the part-time drivers, because those guys, they battle with each other in the, I guess, theoretical part-time championship. Anyway, side by side for the lead, Jay Jefferson in number 31 did not lead that lap. Anthony Lopez barely edged him at the line, and Ryan Madden has gone a lap down in the number 77 in both of the Furniture Row cars. They're in last place right now. You see the 78 of Reagan Whitlock. He got caught behind Madden and fell off the pack, and Madden is now a lap down in the number 77. And remember, it is 10 points towards the winner, 9 points for second place. These bonus points on the line for these guys. And a jump at the championship could start right here in the Mello Yello duel. That's Jake Jefferson in the number 31. And he is going to take the lead away from the 72 of Anthony Lopez and finally lead a lap here in Mello Yello duel number 2. Here comes Dale Salzman, and William Johnson's actually still the highest part-time driver in this race, but barely. Here comes Salzman, however. Salzman is going to take it away from him now if William Johnston is the highest part-time finisher in this race. The number 15 of Aric Allmenhardt qualifies for the Daytona 500 on his qualifying time. The only positions that get locked in the Mello Yello duels are if you are the highest part-time driver in your Mello Yello duel. If you're not, then it goes back on the qualifying time. And for the 75 and the 7, they were the 2 fastest. They were automatically locked in because of their qualifying time. 2 from the duel, 2 from qualifying time. That's how it's done. It's still Jake Jefferson and Anthony Lopez up front, but it's when we go 3 wide that we see this frequent passing. And Cameron Garlington, who started on the outside lane for this race, he's found his way to the inside, and he's 3 wide for the lead, with Elijah Gordon pushing him on that inside lane. Those 2 guys have been racing in the series for quite a while. Hello! Almost 4 wide. As Elijah Gordon almost pushed Anthony Lopez up the racetrack, they're going to go 4 wide. Ace Garcia is very aggressive in this number 23. He might get to the inside of this 5. He's not going to do it. They were getting a little aggressive there, but they did not go 4 wide. And remember, 4 wide here at Daytona is just the big bad idea. It's just a bad idea because they crash every single time they go 4 wide here at Daytona. They practically do. And we did not get a crash in dual race number 1, and these dual races usually go one's crazy and one's not. That first one was kind of calm. I'm expecting a crash to happen here in this second race, but it might not happen. These guys might keep it clean. Elijah Gordon in the number 5. He has 1 career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. It came at Talladega in season number 4. Of course, if he were to win this race, it would not be an official Chick-fil-A Cup Series win, but still be good to get some momentum heading into the Daytona 500 and heading into the season as well. Ace Garcia, however, in the number 23 is going to lead lap 7. And if these guys were to crash, the race could end under caution here. Elijah Gordon, he's trying to get this run on the outside lane. He has help from Cameron Garlington, but Daniel Bouchard making it 3 wide. And it's when they go 3 wide, that kind of stagnates the way outside lane there. And oh boy, they're bumping around a little bit there. Ace Garcia, Elijah Gordon. Elijah Gordon was trying to side draft that number 23. And Gordon trying to get the push on the outside lane for Hendrick Motorsports. John Andrews, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports. They're a strong team this season. Here's another Hendrick machine, the number 48 of Blaine Keys. And Blaine Keith, he's never won anything in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series before. He'd love to get his first ever win right here in the Mello Yello duel. Of course, he won the Aero Electric Pro Series Championship here at Daytona back at the midway point of April. And he did a good job in that race to get the championship. And here he is in the Mello Yello duel, going 3 wide for the lead on lap 9 of 12. Adam Lewis behind him. Will Lewis go 4 wide? No, he won't, but you got to hand it to Elijah Gordon. He's getting his outside lane to work. Now, he hasn't led. He did not lead the last lap here in this race, but he might be able to get this win if he can keep that 47 right behind him. But Blaine Keys is going to go up and clear the 5, and Blaine Keys is going to lead it with 3 laps to go in Mello Yello duel number 2. It's 10 bonus points towards the championship on the line for the winner. Here comes Adam Lewis, Chris Skinlart, and Isaac Nichols on the inside lane. Don't look now. Aric Allmenhardt is right now the highest part-time driver in the field. Salzman, Johnston, and Dryburgh have all fallen back. And it looks like it's going to be Salzman and Dryburgh who failed to qualify for the Daytona 500. There goes Skinlart to the inside of Adam Lewis and Blaine Keys. And the number 21's going to take it. Alexander Rowe here in the number 27 on this inside lane. He is now going to push Isaac Nichols to the inside 3 wide with 2 laps to go here in the Mello Yello duel. Marty Johnson's on this inside lane, guys. He won the Mello Yello Smooth Fest out of nowhere. He could get the duel win, and if he were, in fact, to get the win in this race, he would have a chance at sweeping Mello Yello Speed Weeks if he can win the Daytona 500 tomorrow morning. I think we're going to go 4 wide. No, Alexander Rowe holds off Aric Allmenhardt. Aric Allmenhardt in a part-time ride. He's the highest part-time driver right now. And you know what? I think he's going to go for the win here in Mello Yello Duel number 2. The white flag is out here in the final race of the day at Daytona. And it's Alexander Rowe leading the field. We're going to go 4 wide on the final lap. No, we're not. Marty Johnson's going to block the 17 of Jordan Lopes, and I think these guys are going to avoid crashing in this one. So 2 calm races here at Daytona, but we're going to get a good finish here. Alexander Rowe, Isaac Nichols, and Aric Allmenhardt. I think one of those 3 drivers is going to win this thing. Marty Johnson trying to push this number 15 on this inside lane, and Allmenhardt's going to get a run to the inside of Rowe and Nichols. But Nichols is getting a good push on that outside lane. We're just going to have to see how this all plays out. It's going to be between Allmenhardt and Nichols. The 15, the 83. Who's going to get it done? Isaac Nichols will win duel number 2 here in the Mello Yello Duel at Daytona. He's going to start 4th in tomorrow's Daytona 500. His 2nd career Napa fan win. BK Racing owned by Simon Nichols getting a win here in the Mello Yello Duel. Great run for that BK Racing team and Isaac Nichols to get the victory here in this qualifying race. But good news for Aric Allmenhardt. He's in the show for tomorrow's Daytona 500, and he will be starting in the 6th position for tomorrow's Great American Race. How about that? As for Colin Dryburgh and Dale Salzman, they're going to have to wait until next Wednesday and the Kids Colors 500 to make their first starts of the season at Atlanta. But the good thing about all the part-time drivers, they all will race the same amount of races this season. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, number 83, the winner, he stayed out to the racetrack there. And Isaac Nichols gets it done. We had 2 rookies win these dual races. Will we see another rookie in victory lane tomorrow morning, or will it be a veteran driver? It's going to get very interesting tomorrow morning for the Daytona 500. And it's the biggest race of the season, the biggest race I practically do on this channel, at least in your guys' opinion. And I'm looking forward to recording it. It's going to be a doozy, and somebody's going to make history tomorrow right here at the Daytona International Speedway. As for Isaac Nichols, 10 points towards the championship for getting this win in Mello Yello Duel number 2. Aric Allmenhardt qualifies for the Daytona 500. He gets 9 points towards the championship as well. Blaine Keats, Alexander Rowe, Marty Johnson, Elijah Gordon, Chris Skinlart, Jordan Lopes, Cameron Garlington, and Adam Lewis all getting bonus points towards the championship here in Mello Yello Duel number 2. Colin Dryburgh, Dale Salzman failed to qualify for the Daytona 500. William Johnson is automatically locked in on time. Dalio, Anderson, Lopez, Whitlock, and Madden are all going to have to go on owner's points. Dalio is going to probably beat all those guys out on owner's points because he was the 2nd place finisher last year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series overall in the championship. So Dalio will most likely start in the 33rd position. Yeah, 33rd position, I'm pretty sure. But we're just going to have to see. Of course, I'll give you guys the starting grid for the Daytona 500 shortly after we are done here at Daytona. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. And after this commercial break, we'll get you guys to the Daytona 500 starting grid for the Season 6 Chick-fil-A Cup Series Great American Race. Congratulations to Isaac Nichols, and we'll see you in just a bit.
So living water flowing through, God, we thirst for more of you. Fill our hearts and flood our souls with one desire, just to know you and to make you known. We left you.
And this is how they will line up for tomorrow's Great American Race. You see the Daytona 500 starting grid there on your screen. Jonathan King, William Johnson, they had already locked their positions onto the front row for tomorrow's race. And Richard Kinghart, Isaac Nichols, the 2 winners of the dual races today. They're going to start alongside each other in row number 2. Donovan Douthitt and part-time driver Aric Allmenhardt in row number 3. Daniel McMillan and Blaine Keys in row number 4. Dane Amann, Alexander Rowe in row number 5. Stuart Gratton, Marty Johnson, row 6. Trey Barto, Elijah Gordon, row 7. Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, and Chris Skinlart in row number 8. Lagasee, Jordan Lopes in row number 9. Tristen Allen, Cameron Garlington in row number 10. Caleb Hoffman, Adam Lewis in row number 11, Matt Tuck and Daniel Bouchard in row number 12, Garrett Senor and Jay Jefferson in row number 13, John Arndt and Ace Garcia in row number 14, Cody Sill, Matt Dalio in the number 88. And I know I might have said this, that Matt Dalio would have to go on owner's points. Turns out that was not the case, because the two other part-time drivers in duel number 2 who failed to qualify actually finished in the top 15. But Matt Dalio, see him there starting alongside Cody Sill in row number 15, Jesse Turner, Julius Anderson, row 16, Eli Bright, Derek Hamill, and this, as you can see, drivers in blue, they're lining up by owner's points now. Eli Bright, Derek Hamill, row 17. Zachary Fitzwater, Reagan Whitlock, row 18. Noah Cars, Ricky Stevenson, row 19. Anthony Lopes and Ryan Madden, row number 20. Colin Dryburgh and Dale Salzman failed to qualify, but those two drivers will be racing at Atlanta on Wednesday, or actually, no, it's actually on Monday when the Kids Colors 500 is going to happen, not on Wednesday. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and congratulations to our two winners in our dual races, Richard Kinghart and Isaac Nichols, and tomorrow morning, the Great American Race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series will take the green flag, and season number 6 will officially begin. Jonathan King will lead the field of the green flag for tomorrow's Daytona 500 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, who will write their name in the history books and get themselves into the chase in the first race of the season. It's going to be a great race tomorrow, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure Jonathan King, William Johnston will, because they're starting on the front row. They're going to have a pretty good view at the beginning of tomorrow's Daytona 500, but that is at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern Time, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to Richard Kinghart and Isaac Nichols for winning their respective dual races, and for currently being the co-points leaders heading into the Daytona 500. Of course, they both have 10 points, bonus points from winning their dual races, and of course you guys will see the points in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series right after this. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys later for the Daytona 500 tomorrow morning right here on Napa Fan.
You spread like poison, die a spell when